Right, then let's go.
An idea of all the excitement that is taking place in our body with the food that we eat. Our digestive system is uniquely designed to turn the food that we eat into nutrients which the body uses for energy, growth, and cell repair. Our digestive system is made up of the gastrointestinal tract, some people call it the GI tract, the liver, pancreas, and the gallbladder. Just to add, there are other organs that make up the GI tract as well. These are the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the small and large intestine. You guys may be wondering, how does food move through our GI tracts? But before we get into that, let us talk about the role that each organ play within the digestive system. First, let us talk about the mouth. Now, the digestive process starts when we put food in our mouth and we chew. The salivary glands make saliva. The saliva has an enzyme to break down starches. Next we have on the list is esophagus. After we swallow, peristalsis pushes the food down the esophagus into the stomach. But wait, what is peristalsis? Peristalsis Peristalsis is the movement of organ walls in the gastrointestinal tract and the small and large intestine. Next, we have the stomach. Now, the stomach muscle mix the food and liquid with digestive juice to help break down the food. The glands in our stomach lining making stomach acid and enzymes that break down the food, as I said before. Next on the list, we have the pancreas. The pancreas make a digestive juice that has enzymes that break down carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Wait there, hold up a minute. So much activity, so much working is going on into our body while digestion is taking place, our digestive system is taking place. Next on the list, we have the liver. Oh, where was I? Yes, I was at the liver. Our liver makes a digestive juice called bile that helps digestive fat and some vitamins. Now, let's head over to the gallbladder. Well, our gallbladder stores bile between meals. When we eat, it squeezes bile through the bile duct into our small intestine. Wow, that is a lot of work going on in our body. Now, let's go over to small intestine. The small intestine makes digestive juice which mixed with bile and pancreas juice to complete the breakdown of protein, carbohydrates, and fat. No, that is a lot of work. But did you know the small intestine has three parts? First is the duodenum. In the middle, we have the jejunum, and at the end is the ileum. Now let's head over to the large intestine. Wow, that is a lot of work. Now the large intestine, which is the waste product from the digestive process. So the large intestine collects all the waste from all the digestive process that is going on in our body. It absorbs water and changes the waste from liquid into solid. Change the liquid into stool. And this is where peristalsis also take place as well. So peristalsis help move the stool into our rectum. Wow. And last but not least, the anus, which is the last stage of the digestive process, and it is the last of the digestive tract. Guys, I do not forget. I know you guys want to know, how does food move through our GI tract? Well, food moves through our GI tracts by a process called peristalsis. Do you guys remember what is peristalsis? Let me remind you. It is the movement of organ walls in the gastrointestinal tract and in the small and large intestine. Yes. By breaking the food into smaller parts, by breaking the food into smaller parts using motion such as chewing, squeezing, and mixing. Next, digestive juice such as stomach acid, bile, and enzymes. Just to add, proteins are break into amino acid. Now, amino acid are absorbed by our blood through the small intestine and carry them through our body. Wow, that is a lot of work. Then fats break into fatty acids and glycerol, and carbohydrates break into simple sugar. So you see, a little tip of fat is good for our body. Some people may say, don't eat too much, don't cook with this oil, don't cook with too much oil. Guys, remember, a tip of fat and a tip of sugar, a tip of oil is good for your body. What are you looking at now is a diagram of the digestive system. As you can see, it is labeled a labeled diagram. Okay? Now, let us create a scenario here.
Yes, before I go any further into the lesson, to the video presentation, Makeda, next time, don't label it. You must know the label out of your head. Understand, Makeda? It's Mitchell, Maxwell rather.
Yes, sir.
Next time, you must tell me, you must point on it and tell us what it is. Do not label it next time. All right? Don't want you to label it. It must be unlabeled. Reason for it, reason why I
Okay.
want, yeah, reason I want it. I use this opportunity for others who will in the future and they're making their lessons, their videos, that reason I rather it be unlabeled is because in the exams, you'll be required to identify different structures. So if you're able to identify it without labeling it with pen and with pencil or pen, but just touching on it with your finger and say, this is the that, that is the that. That is what I want because it is already labeled in a book. So you don't need to label it because you're going to be using it to help
Okay.
you to recall the information. Understand now? Make sense? I know.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes.
We know that you're a talented teacher. We see that. However, it's not just about the teacher and you, but we also want you to have to own the information. Yes, you sound like you own the information as always, because we heard the how you again how you what's the word now, articulate yourself. But I really want you to practice to identify the structures. Tell us something about it without we knowing that that's you tell us the name of it. So for example, you might say that is the saliva gland, and you tell us after bat what it does in your way. What I'm saying?
Okay.
So we're gonna continue
Yes,
watching
sir.
them. I know it's 3 videos. We're gonna continue watching, but I want everybody to understand what is it that I'm looking for going forward. All right. All right, so let's go.
Let's
Yes, sir.
say this is Paul. Paul eat an apple. right? So the apple, remember, digestion take place from the mouth. So Paul eat the apple. After Paul has eaten the apple, remember the saliva start to build up. So Paul starts to eat and the food go down. But while it's going down, you have the epiglottis. Now the epiglottis is a small flap of tissue. It folds over Paul's windpipe to prevent him from choking. Yes. Then after that, it go down the apple. So him chew on, the apple go down into the esophagus. Yes, down into this esophagus. And remember, peristalsis take place within the esophagus as well. Then, yes, so the apple go down. This right here, what you're looking at, is called the lower esophageal sphincter. It is a ring-like muscle that open and close to let fluid or other matter pass into or out of the stomach. Yes, so while Paula eating apple, as me say, the saliva start build up and you have the epiglottis and then go down to the esophagus, and then you have the lower esophageal sphincter and then into the stomach. Now we will classify the stomach as the blender. Food start mix up, and remember all the acid and the enzymes start to break down the food.
All right, so we'll go to the next one, next clipping. Am I going in the right order? Makeda, I'm in the right order? I think so.
Sir, I'm not seeing it moving slow on my end here.
Okay, I think I'm in the right order still. Yeah, I think we're in the right order.
Now, next is the small intestine. Now, the muscle of the small intestine makes food with digestive juice from the pancreas. And the liver, here's the liver and intestine, and push the mixture forward for further digestion as peristalsis take place. So if peristalsis is taking place in the esophagus, in the small intestine, and in the large intestine, then after all of that, then it is in the large intestine. So waste product from the digestive process, it absorb water and change the waste from liquid into stool. And here also peristalsis help move the stool into Paul rectum and then into his anus. So into his rectum, then into his anus. I am going to show you of all this that I have just talked about. I'm going to show you how everything worked. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys. So let's go.
All right, so I have 2 short clippings left to go.
What
Why is it check if the internet is trying to figure out why that is giving the problem there.
what am I going to do now is the whole process of digestion. Okay, now I have all my things here with me. So I have my bag to represent the stomach, my orange juice represent the acid or the enzymes in the stomach, my bowl to represent the body, my water to represent the saliva, and cups to represent my anus. And I do not forget about the small intestine. I use a stocking. Okay, let's get to it. And how can I forget about the food? So here I have a cup with crackers. It's not a lot, but it will do. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the crackers. So we're going to go back to Paul. So for this scenario, remember I said Paul eat the apple, but for now we're saying that Paul eat crackers. So Paul eat the crackers. I'm going to put the crackers in his mouth. Then saliva within his mouth. Remember, saliva within his mouth. Then after that, then the acid that is in the stomach. I'm going to mix it up in the stomach and show you.
All right, so this should take us to it.
All right, now see where, remember the stomach? Yes, sorry guys, I changed the bag because that bag burst. Anyway, the stomach, so remember the orange juice and the saliva, or let me see, the saliva and the acid in the stomach with the crackers, the food that Paul eat. Then now I'm going to put it in the stocking. So remember we said the stocking is the small intestine. So from the mouth to the stomach, from the mouth to the esophagus, to the stomach, which is the bag, and then to the small intestine. All right, now look guys, you see, from the stomach to the small intestine, then into the body, then go all the way to go to the body, all the necessary parts into the body. Then now remember the small intestine I have in my hand here. Going to squeeze this out. Squeeze. What next for me to do? Let's see. To the small intestine. Okay, so when Paul eat the apple and go to the small intestine and go, remember the body, so all the nutrients will go to repair the cells and energy. Then now from the small intestine we're going to go to the large intestine. Remember the large intestine is for the waste. All right, so into the large intestine, then into the rectum, then into the anus. Let's see. Here is the waste. Here is the waste from the large intestine. Now let's see what's going to happen. Yes, let us see. So from the large intestine, the waste, and it's in the anus. So let's see what's going to happen. So push. Oh, it's coming out. It's coming out. Sorry guys. Let me show you what is going on. See? That is what is going on. It's going on there. Yes, so the waste in the anus. See? Yeah, and that is the process, and that is the process of the digestive system. Yeah. So remember, guys, yeah, I really hope that you guys learned something new today. Thank you guys for watching. And thanks again, guys, for being very patient with me with this video. I know it is lengthy, yeah, but I really hope you learned something. As you can see, there is the poop coming out of the anus. Yeah.
All right, so there we have the presentations. We want to take some thoughts about presentations, evaluation of it. Then I'll give my last bit on it. Who's going to go first on the evaluation of what they just saw? Who's going to go first? Anybody want to go first? Nobody?
Sir, I learned a lot tonight from Makeda as usual, and
Okay.
how she present her stuff.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Okay. I understand Makeda. Anybody else? Ladies, you must talk, you know.
Well, I like how she presents her presentation so you can understand, and she also show example of how it works.
Okay, Amoy, thank you for that. Shernet?
Yeah, I'm here. Well, our presentation was very good. It explains how the stomach work and how it breaks down the foods and all of that. And I learned a lot from it.
Okay. All right, Nastasia? Nastasia? All right, let's not waste any more time. All right. For me, when you're doing presentations of this, I mean, I think Makeda is well aware that we recognize the talent that she has in terms of her creativity and so forth. But I saw where you try to explain how the dialysis system works, even though you have missed out a bit of information from it. Now, overall, it's a good presentation, but for it to be perfect and meet the purpose of doing these kind of things is really to all right. Now, the aim of this, when you look at the exam past people, the aim of having students doing these presentations, there will be pictures on the exam past paper, diagrams that you have to label, etc. Now, human and social biology is as simple as this. Function, no, structure, function, structure, function. So going forward, when you have it unlabeled, you must have it must be able rather to use it to tell me, identify the different structures, and at the same time state the function of each of these structures. And also, while you're stating the function of each of these structures, You must also speak of any diseases that may affect this function of the structure of or of the system, because that's what the exam is about. It's about the structure, function, and diseases, prevention of the diseases, treatment of the diseases, what are some of the signs and symptoms of the diseases. And then you'd have had a thorough presentation. Now, I like the fact that though she was using the props to actually, first of all, I liked how she started using the diagram, even though some of the details that were supposed to be there, they didn't give the details. For example, let me test it though for see if you know it, but you just missed it out for some reason. What's the name of the substance after you, a name that is given to the substance after you chew it up in your mouth and you moisten it with saliva? What's the name of that? What's the name given to it afterwards? Makeda. Not hearing the Makeda, go ahead.
Okay, can you repeat, sir?
Yeah, what's the name of the structure or the substance that after you chew it up in your mouth, after you chew it up and you moisten it with saliva, what's the name given to it afterwards?
Injection.
No. Ingestion is a process by taking in the food. But after you chew up the food, what does it become? All right. So that's why information you missed out. So when you're going to prepare for I appreciate the fact that I did the video. I appreciate that, and I expect that. However, make sure you're prepared, 100% prepared. So the first thing you need to do is know your content. Know your content. Then you put the video together. Good. Know your content. The name of it is the bolus. How could you forget about the bolus? Huh? Shouldn't forget about the bolus. What's the name of the enzyme that is secreted in the saliva? What's the name of the enzyme that is secreted in the saliva? You remember that? Do you remember that?
I didn't see where I went for the information, I didn't see where they specify and
Did you watch the video that I created?
I watched, no, sir, I didn't get any time to watch it.
Then that's why. That's why. You did the worksheet, by the way?
I made an attempt.
You submitted it?
No, sir.
Well, you know, next time you get penalized, right?
Yes, sir.
Assignments must be done, and I won't say it again. I will not say it again. Must be done and must be done. Right? Have to be done. No joke about it. But as I said, good try. I mean, you have done well. You have been doing well. But I also want the essence of the thing to occur. Right? I want the essence of it to actually occur. Follow?
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes.
good. Now, for those who are new, Ms. Mitchell and Ms. Abbott, and again, Ms. Brown to an extent, why am I pushing for these presentations and how I want it to be pushed? Is because when you go into the exam, you must not be going there struggling to answer questions, because you must know the information. So when you do your own presentation, you know the information, can't fail, must pass. And that's what we have been doing. I get students to get grade 1. And there's one particular student last year. She came to us 2 weeks before the exam, and she did everything she was instructed to do and got a grade 2. So if she got 2 weeks and got a grade 2, then Those who get 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, shouldn't have a problem. All right. Okay. Just get into tonight's class quickly. I sorry about the time. I apologize. All right. So tonight we're moving on to we have come for Amoy and Shernet. The lessons are already in Schoology, and I think you'd have gotten if you go back to the introduction for the new students, you'd have seen the HSB folder that were the first set of assignments. So you go there and ensure to do your first set of assignments. All right. What I do with the class time, I go to the other parts of the syllabus. So what you see in Schoology covers section B of the syllabus and also covers section C of the syllabus. So I start the class at section D. That means then before January, you're done. So when January comes, you start over back and going through past papers for the exam. Should be ready. All right. Now, so here we're looking at the mosquito, the life of the mosquito. And everybody knows what a mosquito is. A teen ever get bite by a mosquito yet?
All right, now.
Oh Lord. Okay. What about you, Sharon and Amoy? They get bite by mosquitoes?
Every day, every minute, every second.
Lord of mercy. So I saw your blood sweet.
But then when I look at them, in love with it.
Oh my gosh. All right. All right. Okay. So Amoy, you don't get bite
Yes, sir. I get bite by mosquito.
every minute. Well,
Not
then
really.
okay. Well, then I love my blood at all. All right. Now, here we have the 3 different pictures, and I love to show the same thing over and over because different expressions give you better understanding. So we start with the adults, just like yourselves as adults or adolescents. You meet a man, you copulate with the man, or you have sex with the man. Of course, you're going to reproduce by chance. And so this is the adults went to have sex. Then this is an egg. More likely it's a fertilized egg. Good, just like how you ladies have eggs. They have eggs too. Good. Now, if you notice, God is a marvelous God. Even though it's different, it's the same. Now, the development of this new mosquito is below the surface of the water, at the surface of the water. Right? But guess what happened? Just like how your fetus or our fetus would start to develop in that oval shape of your belly right there. So remember I said you have a fluid. Good. When you reach reproduction to the reproduction video and lesson, you learn more about that. But it's a similar thing that take place. But there are different stages of the development. And it's the same thing with your learning. There are different stages of development, so you don't rush your learning. You go through the stages. But if you don't go through the stages, Nastasia, you're not going to learn. You're not going to develop. All right. And get to where you need to get to. Now, so from the eggs, you have the larva. And then we have the pupa. And then we have the adult emerges. So this is the life cycle of the mosquito. Now, this picture gives us more details that the life cycle of the mosquito is 10 to 12 days. Can you imagine that? 10 to 12 days. That's a life cycle, So they don't live long. That's what I try to tell you. Because if it's, unless they are telling us the life cycle from in terms of reproduction. All right. if I'm gonna compare to what we think it's supposed to be, what's the life cycle for human beings? Does human being have a life cycle?
Reproduce, sir.
Reproduce. Well, everybody reproduce, but that is not the life cycle. That's what I mean by the life cycle. Well, all right. What we
How
are
long them stay, sir?
yeah, go ahead, Atina. How long them stay? Okay, well, it okay, you say how long them stay. All right, fine. Anybody else? Anybody else?
70 years.
70
Goals.
years. Oh. So I say 70 years. Oh, because God appoint us to have 3 score and 10. All right, sure, then. No problem. 70 years. All right. Oh, so they live up to 12 days. I don't believe that's what it's actually saying still, but it look misleading, but that's what it says. 12 days. Maybe what they are saying to us though, it takes 10 to 12 days for a new mosquito to emerge after reproduction takes place. It's actually reproduction. Good. Now, the human life cycle in terms of reproduction is how long? Well, now, woman, I'm not supposed to know that.
9 months.
9 months.
9 months. Okay. Gestation period. Good. So the adults, the muscular pulps shorter than the whatever wings uniformly grayish black. That is describing it. Body lungs are black with distinctive white patches and throat, thorax markings, whatever. The eggs on the other hand now they are black and oval in shape. Notice your eggs are also oval in shape. Lids single above the water surfaces of the containers. This is why they tell you that you have to get rid of the water, because if the water is going to contribute to the life cycle of the mosquito. So that's why they say you must throw away the water. Don't have your containers catching water and then settle, because it's going to contribute to the reproduction of mosquitoes. Right? Now, so it doesn't really float. It's 6 months to 1 year. It says that the visibility are something like that, 6 months to a year due to the presence of chlorine or something like that. Or they're saying, I'm not sure what that is. All right. Now, so we have the eggs again, and then we are seeing the development 2 to 3 days right there. So you can see now that they're actually referring to the gestation period of the mosquito, right? No, so from the larva so the larva takes 2 to 3 days to develop. Then the pupa now takes 6 to 8 days to develop. And then now, from the pupa to, now before we go to the pupa, they are saying about the larva that the larva is a feeding stage, breeds in clean and non-polluted water. So when our babies and our embryos and our fetus, etc., develop in you, the mother, it's not developed in the mosquito, but it's developed at the surface or under the surface of water. Is that clear? Is that
Yes.
clear? Good.
Yes, sir.
But somehow the same principles take place, because the baby developed in the fluid to protect it, and the same with the mosquito. Good. Now, so they're breathing clean, non-polluted water. So a lot of persons believe that the mosquitoes breed in a polluted water, but it's actually the fresh water that is clean that they breathe in. God is an awesome God. Just as our mothers should not take in drugs nor alcohol, or anything that can affect the fetus. The same thing. Whatever goes into your bodies as women, if you're pregnant, must be clean and non-polluted. Your body is the temple of the Lord, isn't it? Yes, must be clean. Now they are short. Now I want you to recognize what these bag of words that you see right here. So sometimes I read it kind of boring. Kind of boring. I read all them over words, right? Now, how these words came about is because the scientist observes and records. Now, if you're going to do well in science, whichever subject area, you must practice the habits of a scientist. If you're going to be a nurse and you are at the nurse station, you have to be very observant, and you take your notes that when the doctor comes around, you can report to the doctor the days happening. Am I right or am I wrong? Does it make sense or does it make sense? Hello?
You're right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now, so it is short, stout, so you know what you can actually, so they basically studied and describing what they saw. And it rests at an angle to the water surface as well. So it comes closer to the water surface. Now the pooper on the other hand now, so this is the pooper stage, it stop eat, you don't eat no more, no feeding at all. Breathing trumpet is long, so it started to depend on oxygen now. It's slender with narrow opening. So that's the breathing trumpet. So it start now to develop whatever it used to breathe now. And then in 1 to 2 days, it becomes an adult. So technically, well, it says adult there because the mosquito only become adult in 12 days. You becomes you become an adult for some people. Adult in the sense of sexuality, being able to reproduce is not 70 days though. For some women, it's 10 days, 10 months, 10 years, sorry, 10 years. And some female get pregnant at 9 years old, believe it or not. But I think for the most part, when you become a teenager at maybe 12, 13, thereabout, right? That is the life cycle. Understand how I'm sharing it? Sharing it?
Yes, sir.
That is the life cycle. When you are able to reproduce from child to the ability to reproduce, that is the life cycle. But you can live on beyond that to 70 years and over. All right. All right. So let's go. All right. So here we go now. And that's another picture of it. So you have the adult host fly. So this is a host fly now. So look at the mosquito life cycle already. All right. Before we go to the mosquito life cycle, we'll go to the host life. Can somebody tell me one thing you remembered about the mosquito life cycle? Let's say if you're learning anything. One thing you remembered about the mosquito life cycle. Tell me one thing you remember. Anybody? All right, go Makeda. All right, Abbott, go ahead.
That it takes 10 to 12 days after reproducing.
For after having sex, basically. I call it that, after having sex. Eh? All right, okay,
Okay.
fine. Okay, fine. Good. Anything else you remember? All right, Makeda, you can unmute your mic and speak.
And just to add, when they reach the stage of the larva, they can they feed on both clean and dirty water.
No, man, it's a non that breathe
Oh,
in clean and non-polluted water. That's what I'm saying. Yes, yes. All right, but nice try. Anybody else? What you recall from what you just heard and saw? Anybody else? or should I call on a name? So I must learn to pay attention in class, right? And what else? Athena? Tina?
Yes, sir. Same thing like Marquita said. Does
No,
them
no,
bring
no, 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 no. You couldn't say the same thing. Add to it. Add to it. You can't the same thing. Add to it. All right. And the first nightmare of this, yes, it'll happen again. So be warned, pay attention in the class. Sharon, what about you? What you recall from what was said and shown?
The mosquito take 10 to 12 days to produce.
Well, Amoy said that. So you have to add to what Amoy said.
Oh, that's what I wrote down. That's what I was gonna say. Sorry about that.
So. All right, the video is being recorded, though, but please note now, going forward, you must take a note of everything. Question. Give me one word. Each person can give me one word you can remember that was on the pictures a while ago. One word. Each person give me one word that they can remember. Just one word.
lava,
Lava. Good. Anybody else?
Pupa.
Pupa. Good. 2. Anybody else? Lava, pupa, anything else? Nobody remember next word? We are lava and we are pupa. What's the next one?
that name the era something there.
The what? Emerging.
Emerging.
All right. Okay. Adult
Something like
emerging. Okay. Emerging
something so.
adult. That's correct. Emerging adult. Yeah. But there's one important one I mentioned here today. When they gonna lava and they gonna pupa and they gonna emerge. The eggs. Only mention the eggs. So now they only walk on with baby in front of you. Without eggs. Without eggs. No. So have the eggs there. All right. The fact I'm going to show you a technique in when you're writing the exam question now. Look at this technique now. Look at this technique. You see, by just listing the words a while ago, you mentioned egg. You mentioned what comes after the egg?
Larva.
Larva. What comes after larva?
Pupa.
Pupa. Pupa. What comes after that? What comes after
Emerge,
that?
sir.
Adult emerge.
Emerging adult. Egg. Can't spell it. So it's spelled wrong. Correct it for me. Emerging adult mosquito. Aren't those the words? Aren't
Yes,
those the
sir.
words? Now, the first thing when you're going to answer an exam question, you list the words then that you need to mention. Now, you see why I don't want no bag of reading, no Makeda, but that's why I need to know the words then. Right, Makeda? Sister Makeda,
Yes.
are you there? Sister Makeda,
Yes,
rather? Good.
I'm here.
Wonderful. So I just want to know. To learn certain techniques. So here's a circle that I'm going to draw now. You see where I'm going now? So watch the story now. So egg go here, so. Then lava go here, so. Pupa go here, so. And emerging adult go there, so. Isn't that what it is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I want you to learn, Mr. Bernard don't come to give you content. Mr. Bernard comes to give you a strategy. Mr. Bernard want to use strategy. Even though we vex with Nastasa tonight, we work to get her to start writing her answers how it's supposed to be written. Good. She's at least doing something, but she knows she needs to do better than that. I want the best out of you all. Only the best is good enough. All right? No. So the little bit of information now that I need to add to this now. So then draw a little mosquito up here, so. Eh? little mosquito, adult mosquito. We're not supposed to know him look like, especially the ones with bite several by the hour, by the second, by the minute, regularly. Supposed to know what a mosquito look like by now. Right, Shernet? Shernet?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, good. So we have the egg, the larva, soon finish. Don't worry yourself, soon finish. Emergent adult and the pupa. Now, so a little bit of information that you probably would need now. Now, my sincere question now, my little question. Let's put this where I'm supposed to be. Now, what is missing from this that I think you could add to the diagram? Where all of these things are taking place. Yes, Amar, go ahead.
Mosquito life circle.
Oh, all right.
Water, sir.
Water. That is what I wanted to hear, the water. But the title must go there to Amar. Yes, that's correct. So the water surface. Yes. You see, you remember. Oh, you notice something? You know what causes us to remember? Tell me what causes us to remember the information. Tell me what causes us to remember. What do you think causes us to remember? Tell me. Why not tell me nothing? Father,
Sir, repeat.
what caused me to remember that certain things a while ago?
Because mosquito more likely develop in water.
Okay. All right. Okay, fine. But all right, Nastasia said the diagram helps her to remember information. Fine. Okay. And you I guess you never answered the question I was asking, Chernet. I was really asking, but yet I guess what you're saying is that from experience, you'd have known that information. Fine. Good. But what I'm really asking now is, did you see a technique? Remember before I asked you what you could remember? But you told me that you wrote down the life cycle, 10 to 12 days. But yet still, when I did something with you now, you're able to give me an answer different from probably you wrote down. Recognize that, Chernet? Chernet?
Yes.
So what did I do now that you actually came up with something else? I asked you for what? One word. So the technique here that you must use is listing the words. Listing the words. All right, now so just like take out the key points. All right, okay, well, the key points here though are the words in this case. Because remember, I want you to note a technique when you're learning something. You look for these things: nouns, verbs, adjectives. So I must ask, so a language classes when I teach, I might teach HSB. Why these things? You start with the nouns first. Because these are your nouns: your egg, the larva, pupa, and emergent adult. Those are nouns. So if we can list the nouns to one side, then now the verbs now we'll talk about what they did, what is existing. Good. So the larva fed, it feeds, it breathes. And the adjective that describes the environment: clean, non-polluted. Do you see how the information is now structured, students? Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't want you to be afraid of telling me no, sir, no. No, the time to tell me no if it's no. All right. No. So you can I will share something with you hopefully soon. It's called the text structure that I give Nastasia that she started to use. But it's another idea as well. So you list your nouns then. Make sure you have a diagram to you. You list your nouns. And listen now, Makeda, going forward. This technically help to improve the presentation for biology some more. List your nouns. And list them, just like we list them, words. Learn to spell them, learn to pronounce them. Then the verbs now, action, the function. What is happening there? What in their environment? Adjective, describe what is happening there. And you're done. Good. Now let's go back now to what we saw before to see if you have missed out any word at all. And we're going to stop here because people need to go to their bed, I believe. They had a long day. Let's go back here. See? You mentioned eggs, didn't you? You mentioned eggs, right?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned lava, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You mentioned pooper, right?
super. Yes, sir.
I mentioned adult emergent, and that was Athena, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what you need to know. I'm going to show you a past paper again, that you will see that the technique that we're using will help you to answer the questions eventually. And it's a bit of information you need to remember underneath it. But when you start off with this first, describe the life cycle, is basically mentioning these words. Once you mention these words, you are describing the life cycle of the mosquito. All right, so we'll stop right here, not to for you to take in too much information. All right, I think I had a video somewhere here. Let me test if the video working.
This is Joe. Say hi, Joe. Hi.
All right, let me watch this video now, and then we'll wrap it up. The next class we'll continue with the housefly life cycle. 1 second there. Just 3 minutes, that's all.
Hello, and welcome to 4th grade science. Today we'll be discussing the life cycle of a housefly. The housefly is a common pest that can live indoors as well as outdoors. It goes through a complete metamorphosis or the life cycle, which has 4 stages. In this presentation, we will go through each stage of the life cycle of a housefly so that you may become knowledgeable of how a fly becomes a fly. Before we start, let me briefly explain how the life cycle of a housefly begins. The adult male and adult female mate, which initiates the reproductive process.
So they make love, they have sex, right? So we start sound like Makeda now, you know, put them own words. They make love, they have sex. Good? As I told you before, with the mask to them too. I said to them, sit down and have a date. A hot date. I know you ladies have hot dates, right? Correct? Correct?
Yeah.
No, we don't have hot dates. I want to put them on them boring. We don't have hot dates. All right. But go listen, learn from the housefly, learn how it works. But go back because look on the hot date. Come. One look back on the hot date. Where it begins with a hot date. Love. It's like, my God, look how she's blushing. Merciful Father. No man, I blush. So I blush too. Lord have mercy.
No, sir.
If we go find Shernet, I know you have hot dates with your mosquitoes. At least.
No, sir. I can't tell when I go up on a date. Very much single.
No, man. No, man. I said with your mosquitoes.
Oh, okay. Make a try it. Well, then probably I wait for me to drop asleep.
Oh my, that's oh, can you imagine? They want to get to the next stage before time. All right, let's go.
Before we start, let me briefly explain how the life cycle of a housefly begins. The adult male and adult female mate, which initiates the reproductive process. This starts the first stage of the life cycle, which is the egg stage. During the egg stage, the female deposits her eggs in a warm, moist environment. Typically, manure or decaying animal or plant matter is an ideal place for the eggs to be deposited. The female typically lays up to 9,000 eggs in a lifetime, generally in batches of 75 to 150 eggs. Within 24 hours, the eggs that have been deposited go into the second stage of the housefly life cycle, which is the larva stage.
So to learn now, what people call maggot is what stage? What stage is it?
Larva stage.
Larva
Larva
stage.
stage.
Okay, good. All right.
Larvae or maggots emerge from the eggs and immediately feed on and develop in the material in which the egg was laid. Larvae are pale white in color and look similar to a worm.
Good. So you see the technique I was telling you before? The noun and then the what? Adjectives.
Adjective.
Okay,
The
good.
verb.
All right.
At this stage, they spend all its time eating and growing, shedding its skin several times as it grows. After about 5 days, it goes into the third stage of its life cycle, the pupa stage. In the pupa stage, the larva does not feed and is not active. Inside its pupal case, the larva continues.
Now, question, what does a housefly then remind you of?
The mosquito.
The
Mosquitoes.
mosquito. Because the same stage, they don't feed right there. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
continues to change. It sheds its worm-like appearance and starts forming into a housefly. In about 3 to 6 days, an adult fly fully forms within the pupal case. This begins the fourth and final stage of the life cycle of a housefly, which is the adult stage. In this stage, the adult fly emerges with its wings still moist and soft. The air dries them, and blood that flows into its wings hardens them. The housefly is at its full size when it comes out of the pupal case, and in about 2 to 3 days, the adult housefly is able to reproduce again.
Created using Powtoon.
All right, so you see what I told you now? That this whole thing is from birth to being able to reproduce. So it's not necessarily how long they live for, but it's from birth until they're able to reproduce. That is actually what we call a life cycle. Make sense now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, yes, Makeda, thank you very much. Now, what is it that you, just by looking at the mosquito and the housefly, what you learned? Is there any difference between the two life cycles? Do you see any difference between the two life cycles?
No, I
I-
did not see any difference.
go
sir.
ahead, Makeda. Yeah, go ahead, Makeda. What you say?
I was saying that I did not see any difference.
You not see no difference at all? All right, you didn't see. All right. Anybody was wearing her glasses that Makeda didn't wear? As you see a difference? No difference?
Sir, the days that they take to
Mhm.
grow are different. Sir.
All right. You said that the period is different. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cycle, the period of the cycle is different. Any other difference? There's a physical difference, man. You don't observe the physical difference?
The fly produce
Oh, them lay, sir, mosquito lay in
9,000
the water and
All right, Tina. No, you have the answer, but we'll give Amoy a chance to finish first. Yeah, go Amoy. Finish first.
the mosquito produce 9,000 the fly produce 9,000 eggs. The
Okay.
female fly.
All right. So you learned that. Okay, fine. Okay, good. What were you saying, Tina?
one deep dry and one deep wet then.
One do it how? Go ahead, Tina.
It's in the water
Yeah.
and the fly does not do that.
All right. So where the fly go?
In a dry part.
Warm,
Right.
warm and moist.
Warm and moist. What? Sure, Ned.
Substances,
Huh? Remember?
substances are
Like what? Sir?
like animal feces and
Animal feces, manure, and stuff like that.
Yes, sir, them something.
Good. So that I expected to see that difference. Well, where the larva of the mosquito survives in a different environment than the larva of the horsefly. Make sense now?
Yes, sir.
So this is why, yeah, go ahead, Sharon. You wanted to say something?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay, all right, cool. Next time I won't say anything, right? No. So the larva survives, and ladies, let me tell you something. Science is not hard. It really comes from these 5 senses that you have. Observation is the key thing right here. You cannot really observe. When you read, you try to observe through the eyes of the writer. But this is why I ask my students when they're doing presentations, they use pictures, because you can't come back to me with the same word the writer give you. No. I want this. I want to know that you can observe now and go as far as Makeda making models of itself to represent the thing. Good. So when you take it from the written to the concrete, it tells me that you own the knowledge for yourselves. That's the objective. You saw this woman make a video? Source a picture. No one will per sentence. That not necessary. Learn. They can done biology in 2 weeks. Yes. No bag of words thing. Pictures, models, does it all. And to close, I'm going to show you this. Those students are who have already registered. You will get your information for it shortly. All right. When you go onto the website, you will see a link that says textbook. So they are no longer in Schoology. It says textbook. So we have the biology textbook, we have the human social biology revision guide, and we have the chemistry textbook. All right. So if you click on, if you happen to just click on the word textbook, it'll take you down to here. Again, you have to wait for this loads. And then it loads. I know that Madam Brown was having, Madam Brown, I see the difference between me and you? May have a little patience. Right, Miss Brown?
Yes, sir.
Somebody come tell me, sir, it now, work it now. Nobody with that. And the world I go wonder so this is the HSB one. If they click on it, take us straight there. So it's going to ask you for a password. The password will be distributed shortly so that you can access the textbooks in the virtual library. So we're also working on getting the mathematics so you can have something to work with, like exercises in the maths book and practice and so forth. The English language is coming on as well. So we can have you fully, you don't have to go out there and buy a book. It's not necessary now. So as you can see, we're providing these books. Once you register with the institution, you'll get access to the books. All right. Good. So we come to the final part of our lesson, which is the evaluation. And we normally begin with the newest students. Now, Amoy and Shernet are newest. So I don't know who will start first, but I will start with the first who called me last. So Shernet, you're the last person to make contact with CDB Labs. So you are going to tell us what you thought about your first class tonight. Shernet, okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Well, my thoughts about it, I've enjoyed the orientation, first of all. And no, I really and truly enjoyed class because, well, you teach it pretty clearly, so it's easy to understand to me. So yeah, I do understand, and so far so good. I like it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Shernet.
You're
I see my friend enemy is telling me that class was okay for her tonight, but it was not okay for me, Nastasia. I need to see those presentations, and I'm not going to start breathing down your neck. All right, so that I get them because I know you have it in you. So you're going to give me what is in you. Okay? Thank you. But thank you for that. But saying the class was okay. Why me I call the name? Well, give me what you're supposed to give me and I won't call the name. All right. Thank you very much, Sharon, for that one. All right. And Sharon, please do take a page from Makeda's book because I'll be breathing down your neck as well. And I know that Nastasia is going to come bigger and better next week. I know that. But I don't want to breathe down anybody's neck. Right, Sharon?
Right, and I really don't want you to breathe on my neck, so I will do my best. I'm here
Yes.
to do my best because it is going to benefit me in the long run. So I have to put in my best and I have to try my best.
All right.
So yes.
Okay, good. Because the mosquitoes are already breathing down your neck already, and they're waiting for you to come to
Why?
bed.
I need to go get the zapper, like I need to get it, and before I go on my bed, like I need to zap out in here.
All right, good. Okay. So let's go to Amaya. How was your class for you tonight?
Well, it was good because I've learned a lot. I've learned in the orientation how to share your screen and how to submit
Mhm.
the class. It was really good. I learned a lot from the teacher and also the student as well. So I really do enjoy it.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to learn more.
Okay. Thank you very much. And I am looking forward for some assignments. Yes.
Sure,
So
I will do that.
good. So you have 1 week. I don't want to empty classroom next weekend. Because I'm dead serious. Miss Tina, this is your last day too. If the assignment don't come through, it's better you give me foolishness than you don't give me nothing at all. Mark you. Because you see why, let me tell you why, ladies. When you do the assignments, I am able to see where your weakness is. One thing I must say about Nastasia, I don't have this problem with her. She does the assignments. She does not do my presentations, but she does the assignment. And she will breathe down my neck to ensure that the assignments are marked. And that's good. But I want to take her from one level to the next level. And she's coming from far. I mean, she moved from one stage to our most excellent, well, I don't reach excellent yet, but good written assignment was the last one. And I must say that was good. You start expressing it or it's supposed to express. We need to practice it now. And when you do your presentation, Anastasia, that technique now will come alive even more and you own it. So you start talk like it and write like it. Good. So you need to work on that. But I must give you credit for that. I don't know if you move on to the next assignment yet, though. Don't know yet. But make sure you're moving on. So she's almost finished with section B of the syllabus. And all she needs to do is to run through the videos, them now, do the present, come to class. I don't want a video from a matter of fact. Because I have a laptop and I have Wi-Fi. So what I want to do, you don't have to do a video, Anastasia. You have a laptop, turn on your camera, set up your area, and present. The only reason I ask for videos from persons like Makeda because of the internet connectivity that might spoil the presentation. So I already made the video so we can present in class. That's the only reason why I ask for videos. It's not because the videos is the actual thing. The actual thing is present and teach the class. I might soon start group presentations. So the numbers have now increased, so we can start group presentations. All right. So Tina, I heard from Makeda, the class was okay for her. Tina, what about you? How was class for you today?
It was good, sir. I
Was
learned
good.
a lot about the mosquito and the fly, and as usual, Makeda presentation was okay for me.
Okay, good. And I see that Makeda is stealing my job. All right, so that's a wrap tonight, ladies. I will end with how we started the class. And again, thank you for praying for the class. And I want you to remember every student. We have a particular student who is not so well. Her name is Nikisha. To pray that you pray for her that she'll get better, and and stuff like that. Because We need to pray for each other and so forth. We're living in serious times now. And we may not be perfect, but, you know, we might not be perfect, but let us pray and be there for each other. So we will be moving into, we'll be wrapping up. There's some more, we'll be going into diseases and so forth, further diseases caused by these vectors, and looking at some possible questions as well where diseases are concerned. So you can get familiar with the exam questions, use of the technique. We're going to be looking at immunity, etc., as the list goes down. So we have a lot more left to do in this. So try your best. And let me say this tonight before you leave. If you're going to be absent from class, ladies, do not just be absent. Say something. Say something. Say, sir, can't make it a class tonight. You not forget the reason, but just make us know. Don't want to sit down and wait for you and then waste other people's time. It's not fair to the students who are waiting. So let us know that. Otherwise, I will interpret it that you're not interested in the class. I will take it or scratch your name off the list. All right. So let us know whether or not something is wrong. We can pray for you. You know that Georgette, a matter of fact, the class full now. We now have 8 students. This group is full because we have Makeda. That's 5 of you are here now. That's if Shernet and Abbott decide to stay. 5 of you are here now. And we have Georgette, Kamala, and Peter Gay. So HSB is now booked out. Group 1. So they'll find another day if another group should come. So let's keep this group going. And let's have we might end up have a competition. Yes, to see which group is better than which group. So the mass competition is coming up. We have 3 groups. We can combine group 2 and group 3 to form one group to compete against the fabulous group 1. I won't hear me say anything. And the other fabulous group 2 and 3. So look out for that competition that is going to come on soon. Yes, Makeda. We have a nice CDP labs at the boring party. I used to sassify. It's the fun party. This fun part coming on very soon. We're going to compete against each other. It's good. Competition is good. So we will be having an HSB competition soon once another group steps up to the plate, or as you can compete among each other. We form a group of 4 against 4, and competition breeds success as well. So let us listen to our gospel artist, Mr. Kerry Sales, as we end class and say good night.
I am blessed and highly favored. Say I am blessed and highly favored. I was born and a prize, a godly sacrifice. Say I am blessed and highly favored. Ooh, I am blessed and highly favored. Yes, I am blessed and highly favored. I was bought at a price, a godly sacrifice. Say I am blessed and highly favored. I'm so blessed, nobody can steal my joy or take my love away. I'm so blessed that God provides for me in every single way. I'm so blessed that God grants me mercy each and every day. So blessed, yes, I am so blessed. I am and highly favored. Yes, I am blessed and highly favored. godly sacrifice. Say I am blessed and highly favored. So when the Lord blesses you, nobody can curse you. So when the Lord blesses you, nobody can curse you. 'Cause you can rest assured. Your needs He supply. Yes, you can rest assured. Protection is always nigh. So when the Lord blesses you, nobody can curse you. Say we are blessed and highly favored. We are blessed and highly favored. We were bought and prized. Our godly sacrifice. Say we are blessed and highly favored. Say blessed, hey, and highly favored. Lord, we are blessed and highly favored. We were bought at a price. Our godly sacrifice. Say we are blessed and highly favored. Lord, we are blessed and highly favored. Oh, blessed and highly favored.
All right, so that's it. We have come to the end of another Human and Social Biology class. Thank you very much for coming. Amoy and Shernet, please go back to the website and click on join us on WhatsApp so you can join the WhatsApp group, the new students WhatsApp group. Well, it is an actual group now for all students that are doing exam in the year 2022, God's willing. So go to the WhatsApp group and click on join us on WhatsApp. Go to the website and click on join us on WhatsApp, and you'll be able to join the group immediately, because this is how we communicate with the students as a group outside of Zoom. All right, thank you very much. Please have yourselves a wonderful night and take care.
Okay, take care as well, Jason.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
guys. Thank you, sir.
And have a
All right.
nice night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
All right,
Thanks,
good night.
everyone. Good
Bye
night.
to you all.
Okay, all right, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right.
Yes,